Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecaster by Agent Weather Forecast. So this will be another severe weather video here for this is not going to be for today. This is actually going to be for potentially the late weekend and much of the weekend for Saturday and Sunday. We have a big potential for some really strong severe weather, likely and possibly a severe weather outbreak. We have very high confidence in this, and also we have the SPC already highlighting this area for day 4, and this will most likely become a very big risk for severe weather. We have very weak cap, very high Cape values, very strong storms likely. We will be seeing wind shear will be in place. The potential for some supercells are very high as well. So I know this is still 4 days out, but we have a very good possibility and a very high confidence in this area for the north central plains, and likely we might even include parts of Kansas for the severe weather. If you know anybody in these areas in the central plains, be sure to share the video so they are updated by this. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Let's try to get to 2,325 subscribers by the end of today. Also, be sure to if you have any questions below, leave them in the comments below, and also be sure to hit the big like button, hit the post notification icon. Without further ado, let's get in this video. So here we have our highlighted area for day 4. It's going to be including the north central plains and the Great Plains. This is going to be for parts of the, just in general, the areas where we usually see severe weather at this time of the year, including parts of the Midwest. We have areas like South Dakota, we have Nebraska, we have even Kansas, the tip of Kansas, in the severe weather threat here. I think this threat could definitely become a bit more widespread for Kansas, and even have the tip of Colorado. It's even on the border of Iowa. So this area, in this yellow area, it's our 15% chance for severe weather likely, which basically means a slight risk, most likely a slight risk to maybe even an enhanced risk, really. So we do have great potential for these areas. So if you know anybody in this yellow, be sure to let them know they could be seeing some really strong severe weather. I do expect this to move more into Kansas by the day 3 outlook for tomorrow. But this is our area of focus, and I did actually look at this for the past couple of days, and I really thought this could be something, but I just didn't think I shouldn't post about it until it actually gets highlighted as an area of focus. As we now look at the GFS radar, which just reloaded. So actually, we'll have to look at the GFS radar once we actually finish the video, because it just reloaded as soon as we talk. So might as well skip that and go to the pivotal weather. So this is now basically almost the same, not the exact same thing, but around the same thing. Here we have our low pressure system at 997 millibars. Here we're going to be seeing a lot of energy setting in place by, this is Saturday, May 23rd. And as we get into May 24th in the overnight hours, we see some very strong bands developing across the great north central plains for parts of the Dakotas. Could be seeing some severe weather for parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, even parts of Nebraska. As we head more into the 24th, which is a Sunday, we'll be seeing some more severe weather across parts of Nebraska and Iowa, even North Dakota. So that's exactly why we have that very widespread threat. I definitely see we do have a very widespread threat throughout much of the plains for this weekend. And then that's May 24th later on. And then we have another stronger band actually later on at this point here of the severe weather. So basically, this definitely see we do have a very big possibility for May 23rd and May 24th for some severe weather across much of the plains here. So definitely could even see some more severe weather after this on the 25th. But really, my main concern is actually going to have to be the 23rd to the 24th. So that is the radar there. As you go ahead and check out the Cape values, the surface-based Cape. So obviously, the Cape is the amount of energy in the atmosphere, including the instability, moisture, humidity, overday heating. Basically, it's all the energy that this atmosphere needs to create a thunderstorm, a very severe thunderstorm. So really, the higher the Cape, the better the possibility for seeing some strong pop-up bands. So if you have very low Cape, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to get pop-up. If you have very low Cape, it doesn't mean you're not going to get pop-up bands. It just all depends. Maybe you have not all the ingredients, which is exactly why Cape isn't high. But maybe if you have 1 or 2 ingredients, that can still cause a pop-up band. But when you have very high Cape, that means you have a very good possibility. But high Cape is really useful when it comes to a lot of cap. But in this case, it seems like we are seeing very high Cape and very weak cap. So the weaker the cap, the better for severe weather. So here we do have this, of course, this potential right here for a decent numbers of Cape for the May 23rd, which is a Saturday. So this is the start of this main severe weather threat. We're going to be seeing a lot of Gulf moisture and a lot of energy coming out from the Gulf here. It's going to be spilling out across the south central. We'll be seeing some decent numbers, some 3,000 across parts of Texas. Could be seeing some decent numbers there. And as we now get later into May 23rd, or Saturday, we have these numbers are going to be skyrocketing. We're going to be seeing very high numbers all the way to Nebraska. We have that severe weather threat from Nebraska and South Dakota. Here we're going to be seeing extremely high numbers at Cape, up to 4,500 joules per kilogram there of energy. And then we actually have zero cap. Our number of cap is 0, which is very, very weak. So that means this won't cap out whatsoever based on this. Could be seeing some 3,000s across parts of the Central Plains, including Kansas. Very weak cap at a 0. And it does seem like it has a possibility for some tornadoes, very likely for some tornadoes in this potential outbreak. And this is where it gets very impressive. Into May 24th, look at these numbers right here. Look at these numbers. Up to 5,800 joules per kilogram, almost 6,000 joules per kilogram. For the FVC, we have 6,600 joules per kilogram. And then for the cap, it's -2, which is incredibly, incredibly weak. So this could definitely become a major outbreak, likely, based on this. Look at these high numbers, all the way to Nebraska, Texas, Missouri. I wouldn't say Missouri is going to be seeing a lot of energy, but it doesn't look like they're going to be seeing some really strong, severe weather. Could be mainly Kansas, Nebraska, and parts of Oklahoma, in my opinion, and even parts of South Dakota, of course. But wow, look at these numbers, up to possibly 5,800 joules per kilogram. It's very, very impressive numbers here. Extremely, up to 6,235 joules per kilogram with -5 as cap. That is that's a huge opening window for a potential outbreak and multiple tornadoes. As we now get later on to May 24th, these numbers kind of died down a little bit, but still going to be seeing up to some 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram. But cap does strengthen at -66. But anything higher than -200, if it's not really a -200 to above, is considered strong cap. So technically, that's still a very weak cap based on the numbers. And then all the way by May 24th, we have some widespread 1,000 to possibly 3,000 joules per kilogram across the South Central. As we now look at the supercell composite parameter, this is measuring the possibility or the likelihood of seeing a supercell based on looking at a graph from 1 to up to higher than 46. Anything really higher than a 20 is considered actually a high risk or a high chance for seeing supercells. And as we get starting today on May 23rd, we look up to a 22. Going to be seeing starting off some higher numbers here. So 21's likely going to be the highest number, which is actually considered very high. And in that general area, we'll be seeing up to 5,000 joules per kilogram. Potential for some marginal tornadoes, and also significant hail is a very big possibility. We can definitely be seeing possibly baseball-sized hail in some of these areas. As I move later into Saturday, we're going to be seeing these higher numbers more into the Oklahoma and Texas area. But look at the cap, very, very weak. So this is exactly why possibly maybe May 23rd may not be the most severe in the morning, because look at that, -199. That's actually considered a very strong cap. So this could possibly cap out in the morning of May 23rd. But as we now get later on to May 23rd, to the overnight hours on the 24th, that's when things get interesting. We're going to be seeing up to a 27 on the SCP. That's a very high risk. Look, the cap has now weakened at -80 with Cape at up to 4,500 joules per kilogram. Very likely we're going to be seeing some very strong bands continue on to the 24th here. As we continue on, we'll see these numbers skyrocketing up to possibly, maybe see some up to 27, and once again for part of Kansas, -82 cap. Very, very likely for some tornadoes in these areas, and then that threat is wind down by the 25th. And then last thing, the key system here, the key factor is the wind shear. For the past couple severe weather events that we've seen within the past 2 weeks, there's been a really little wind shear, so that's why it hasn't been severe, and it has capped out and fallen apart. But this will change. We're going to be seeing a lot of shear coming in place. May 23rd won't have any shear, so that's why, in my opinion, May 23rd won't be the most severe, based on the strength of the bands, but of course that can change. But we're going to be seeing most of this shear coming on the 24th. Here we have all that shear moving to the north central plains and parts of the central plains. That's going to really strengthen these bands strengthen these bands that are developing in the north central plains. And look at later by May 24th. This is the exact area where we have the potential for severe weather on May 24th. And look at where all the shear is. The shear is right over those areas where you have all that potential for severe weather, up to 60 knots there. 60 to 70 knots likely. in the areas, and then by May 25th, this wind shear is moved to the south and moved to the east. So definitely likely we'll be seeing actually a lot more shear than we have seen in the past couple of severe weather events than this. So definitely we do have that shear in place. Let's go and check out the GFS, see if it actually is ready to go, and it actually is not. But let's might as well not show the GFS because it's kind of like the pivotal weather anyways. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to keep an eye on this, so just be careful. This very likely could become a severe weather outbreak. We are seeing very weak cap, very impressive Cape values. Potential. We're seeing the wind shear set in place. We have a potential cold front coming in, so that could possibly bring some squall lines and QSCSs, and very large tornadoes are actually likely. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye and bye.